Good morning, bike people. Just sitting here in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. Just kind of chilling. A little bored actually, ready to get down to the Mexico border and get this party started. I did a couple of blog posts over the past couple of weeks on my bike setup. I didn't get around to writing about, kind of like my cockpit and lighting and all that kind of good stuff, so I figured I'd do it in a video format today. So, cockpit, pretty straightforward setup. I'll start kind of from the bottom up. Have a Nuclear Sunrise Stitchworks frame bag that Dave made for me for this Santa Cruz tall boy. Fits like a glove. In that I have a 2.5 liter MSR bladder. You can see the hose, it kind of comes up and goes around. 2.5 liters usually gets me, somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 hours, depending on the heat and humidity and all that kind of good stuff. I'm also able to stuff my Montbell rain pants and rain jacket in that bag as well, which is kind of nice. And there's a little bit of extra space in there that I could stash, arm warmers or whatnot. The other thing, as far as hydration, I have another little silo bag on the side here, Nuclear Stitchworks again, and that just has a single 22-ounce bottle in it. And in that bottle, I usually use that bottle for, just kind of a utility bottle. During the day, it'll have some kind of sugary substance in it. Use it for coffee in the morning. Maybe put some chocolate milk or recovery type stuff in it in the evening. So that is about all of the water capacity I have. I do have a wing net pack. I'll show you guys that too. That wing net has a 2.5 liter bladder in it as well. Probably won't use it very much. I might put a little bit of reserve water in there in some of the longer, drier sections, like Oracle to Picket Post, areas like that where I might need just a tad bit more water. But for the most part, that is sort of a backup bladder just in case anything happens to that guy. And I'll probably use the bladder in my backpack for the hike across the Grand Canyon, rather than trying to fool with the bladder in that frame bag for the hike. Other stuff in the cockpit, so I have a Revelate feed bag. That is where all of my food will be. I have about close to 2,000 calories in there right now for the start, which will get me to either Patagonia or Sanita. One other little thing, it's not really a bag so much as it is a bundle that I have strapped under my handlebars, that has my backpack carry straps that I'll use to mount my bike up on my back for the big hike, and a couple of other odds and ends that I won't use until I get to the Grand Canyon. Electronics, so I have a Garmin 820. It has been working really good for me for the past couple of months. A lot more stable than the 810 that I've been running for the past few years. I also have just like a little, kind of simple wireless bike computer. I like having that just as a backup, so that I can, tick off distance if my Garmin is acting up. Also just to have a clock in front of me, which is kind of cool. Lighting is, the ever popular K-Light system, from Carrie and Shay, powered by a Son dynamo hub that Shay built up for me on this really dope set of Knox composite wheels. Dynamo runs up to a little, Stanlight switch box, runs the light, and I can also toggle back and forth between a sine wave USB charger, which is in this Bedrock bag. The only thing that is in the Bedrock bag is anything electronics. So I have a cache battery in there, some other like little miscellaneous cables and spare batteries for my spot and headlamp and whatnot. So everything in that bag is electronics related. And I think that about does it for the cockpit. I am ready to, like I said, man, I'm ready to get this party started. Been putting in a lot of time, you know, but training and just kind of planning and thinking about this race mentally. So nothing else left to do except go sleep in the dirt at the border and do a whole lot of pedaling to Utah. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Almost forgot about the backpack. It is a wing nut. I think it's like a 2 or 2.5 or whatever model they call it. This bag was recommended to me by Brendan Collier out in Ottawa, California. I picked it up at his shop when Wendy and I were out there last fall sometime. Really cool bag. It has a nice big main compartment. Really the only thing that I will keep in this bag is food. So a lot of times it'll be pretty light, you know, from short resupply sections, but on other areas it'll probably be a little heavy where I need to carry, you know, upwards of 3, 4, 5, 6,000 calories, but it definitely has capacity to do that. It has these little side pouches, these little wings. One of the wings I use to keep kind of spare clothes, a pair of extra socks, arm warmers, knee warmers, a little bit of a thicker pair of gloves than what I normally ride. And then the other side, really just kind of miscellaneous stuff. Headlamp, a wool beanie, clear lenses for my glasses, stuff like that. The cool thing about this bag is it is essentially like the world's largest fanny pack. So it has, you know, a strap that goes around your waist, and it just sits like really nice and low. It does have shoulder straps on it. But the shoulder straps more or less just kind of help stabilize the load rather than actually putting a lot of the weight on your shoulder. A little kind of pocket to keep miscellaneous stuff in. Only thing I really have in there is a little Leatherman. But that is my wing nut pack. Like I said, it does have a bladder in it, a 2.5 liter bladder. Won't use that too awfully much. Really just for long sections and for the Grand Canyon hike. But at least I swear this is the final thing. Smith helmet, and my backup lighting is an exposure joystick. It is a badass little light. Not the cheapest light, but super configurable, you know, with all kinds of different run times. I think on the setting that I keep it on, which is a pretty low light level, it's like 100 or 150 lumens, it'll run 12 hours. And then there's also like a little battery pack that I can snap onto the side and then run into the charge port of the light. And gloves, I just wear these really awesome, nice and thin hand-up gloves. They're like a second skin, really. They're not padded, but they're well ventilated, and they have the biggest snot wiper in the world on the thumbs, which is super awesome. So that's it. Talk to you guys later.